everybody. Social Imperatives is up and running, socialimperatives.com. I'm Martin Bryan, and this is my partner.
Herman Burek.
Sounds like a criminal.
Oh, thanks.
I love the guy. You'll really like this guy. He's a great guy. Anyway, socialimperatives.com is up and running. We are going to introduce ourselves. I'm Martin Bryan, and you are?
Herman Burek.
And we are the creators and producers of the website, socialimperatives.com. This all began 4 or 5 months ago as an idea for a documentary about the homeless. I'm homeless. I've been homeless for almost 13 years. My partner and co-creator and producer is not homeless, except that one time when your wife kicked you out. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, sleeping in the doghouse, does that count as being homeless?
I think you would have rather been homeless than in the doghouse. But I'm homeless. Herman's not. We met at St. Mary's Cathedral, which is that church up there behind us. It's a beautiful cathedral, whether you believe in God or not, or whether you're of the Catholic denomination or not. It's a beautiful building, beautiful church. Father Will and Father, what's the Asian father's name?
Father Daniel.
Father Daniel. They're great people. They're great priests. They're wonderful people. And I'm blessed personally to call them my friends. And I'm blessed to have Herman as my friend. So we started talking and became friends. And we realized we have a lot in common. And one of the things we have in common is that me being homeless, and Herman cares about people. He has empathy for people. And it's based on his Christian beliefs, but it's also based on his human beliefs. You don't have to be a Christian to believe that all people should be treated fairly.
That's right.
And the homeless all over this country are not treated fairly. So we started talking, and our friendship began to grow, and we decided to do a documentary. Then a political action group called Save Austin Now got it on the last the election of 2021. It got the ordinance issue on the ballot. The ordinance is prohibiting sleeping, doing human things. They came back, and it was because of Save Austin Now. So we felt like we needed something now to be an alternative voice for the homeless and for the less empowered and for the powerless. The homeless are probably, would you agree, the most powerless group in our society? I mean, because who cares about them?
Pretty close. I mean, jail inmates would come up on the list as well. But yeah, I mean, in terms of general society, the homeless pretty much they're.
And I think, having been homeless for over a decade, and that would classify me as chronically homeless, I think that jail inmates, people in jail waiting trial but not yet convicted, would get a better rating than the homeless. And I see that, I feel it, I've experienced it. I mean, people walk past me, not everyone, but Herman, people walk past me and act like I've got the plague.
Right.
That if they say hello to me, something will come out of my mouth and choke them to death.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It really is.
This is an introduction. We wanted to introduce ourselves to you, and our brand new website is called
socialimperatives.com.
And we created that as a means of getting out an alternative voice.
Yeah.
As we both know, Herman, and I'm sure many people know, and I hope to meet you people at some point. We both do. And there is a place on our website where you can contact us, and we want to hear from people. We do. But Save Austin Now is a political action committee that got enough petitions to get the ordinance issues back on the last May 2021 ballot, and the ordinances were voted back in by the people. That's great. Power to the people. However, beware the demagoguery of the majority. That means the majority may not always be right, which is why we have a Supreme Court. We'll get into all that stuff later, in weeks and months to come. But the homeless don't have a voice, and the only voice out there is Save Austin Now, and they are anti-homeless, and I think it sounds like to me, we've looked at their website, they would push us into the woods or anywhere else as long as we couldn't be seen. Is that? I
didn't see.
I'm homeless, so I don't want people to think I'm being biased. I'm trying to be objective about them. I'm sure they're intelligent, good people at heart. I'm sure they are, but I'm jaded. I'm sorry. What do you think?
Well, I didn't see anything in terms of actual solutions to problems. I didn't see anything that's actually trying to understand what's going on. Who are the people out here? Why are they out here? It's just a lot of, scrub people from the streets, but with no answer, with no plan. So that to me, it's more of a hate thing, and that's fueled by ignorance. And I think a lot of people, they don't
stereotypes, misinformation.
Yeah, they're not out here talking to people, like having conversations and stuff.
It's not a conservative thing, a Republican thing, Democrat thing. It's a people thing. You can't just push who you don't like out of the way. If that was the case, there would be no need for an express lane in the supermarket. Because if I saw an old lady in front of me, I'm going to push her hell out of the way. Especially if she's got 100 items. You see what I'm saying? You just can't push people out the way because you don't like them or because they don't look right to you. And this is what Save Austin Now, this political action committee, is doing. And we decided there has to be a voice. So we put our documentary ideas not on hold, but we've created this website. It's up. It's running. You can go to it. You want to give them the address?
Yeah, socialimperatives.com.
And go there. There's some content. We're going to put this on there today, of course, because you'll see it. And we're going to put some contact information on there. And you'll be able to contact us. We want to hear from you. We want your ideas. We want to know what you think about the homeless. We want to know what you think should be done about the homelessness in Austin, in America. There is currently, as of 2022, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development reported to Congress in their annual homeless assessment report, there are 80,000?
I think so, yeah.
I've got the stats. We'll get them to you. We're going to put them up on our site. But there's over 500,000, 500,000 people that are homeless in America. Now you could say, well, hell, Martin, Herman, hey, guess what? There's 300 and some million people living in America, and so if 500,000 of them are homeless, not a big deal. Wrong. So it's not a big deal if it's just wrong. We are all Americans, and we are all citizens, and we all have some kind of redeeming value, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, 100%.
If you're not a Christian, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. Herman and I do. We met outside the Catholic Church. I had just came out of confession and was sinning already. I was panhandling. I panhandled. He said no. And but instead of me walking away, we started talking and we became friends. And we realized that we could do things together. And this is one of the things we're doing. We want to show you things that will shock you, surprise you maybe, incense you. We hope the things we show you incense you and anger you a little bit. Because if you're angered by what we show you, that means you care about people, and you're angered by what's being done to this whole class of people. In Austin, in Texas, there's don't quote me, but I've got my notes. There's about 27,000 homeless people all over the state of Texas, and the only thing the governor of the state of Texas can come up with is to ban camping on public grounds for the homeless. So they don't want us sleeping out here on the streets, on the sidewalk, on the benches. They don't want us sleeping anywhere, but they're not offering us any place else to sleep. And if we get caught sleeping there, we get tickets, Class C misdemeanors, and then we have to pay $300 or $400 fines, or we have to do 30, 40 hours community service, and we're not guilty of anything but being tired.
That's kind of messed up.
That is kind of messed up.
You're already homeless to begin with. How are you supposed to pay the fees? I don't understand the thought process there.
So, welcome to our website. I hope you like us. I hope you subscribe to us. I hope you at least stick around for the first month. We just got some content on there yesterday. We'll be on there with our introduction today. And every day we're gonna add a little something, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna show you. We're gonna have some pictures of some homeless people. And you'll get to see their name and how long they've been homeless. And in later content, you'll get to meet some homeless people, and you will learn that they are. There's somebody's son, and there's somebody's daughter.
Yep.
And I've never been a parent. So let me ask my partner Herman this. If your daughter made some mistakes in her life, would you still love her?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You'd still do anything for her?
For sure.
So if she became homeless, assuming you and your wife couldn't help her financially, if she became homeless, would you still love her?
No, of course, yeah. Any parent would.
So, knowing that, and I'm sure a lot of you who have children feel the same way, knowing that, don't you think we deserve at least the benefit of the doubt? We are human beings. I served in the Army. I've done drugs. I still do drugs. Make me feel good. Make me all kinds of things. I don't think, if I go to hell, it won't be because of those things. I don't believe so. If I go to hell, it's because I did something really messed up, or because I just didn't do what God and Jesus Christ told me to do. But we're human beings, and we want to introduce you to these people, and we're going to offer other solutions. We are going to be a voice for the mentally ill, for the alcoholic, for the drug addict that are homeless. And we're going to be their voice, and we're going to offer an alternative voice, and alternative solutions. Herman and I are working on these. We're getting the statistical information together, the demographic information together, and I know a lot of homeless people because guess what? I'm homeless. And so we're going to give you a lot of things to think about, and we want you to be open-minded. We want you to forget everything you've ever thought about a homeless person. If you were in a car at 8 o'clock at night with your child and a homeless person knocked on your window and asked for money and it frightened you, we want you to put that feeling, we don't want you to forget that feeling, but we want you to suspend that feeling for just a little bit and think about some other things. I've been scared before by homeless people. It's not a cowardly scared. It's I've got my family to think about. I've got my life to think about. So it's not a cowardly thing to do. And in fact, you told me a story about somebody who was messing with you, and you thought you were going to have to defend yourself physically because your wife and your babies were there with it some years ago. and you felt like you might have to.
Right.
He was
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
It was that intimidating.
It was that close. Yeah.
But when you think that you might have to fight, when you start preparing, you start balling your fist, you realize this guy's messing with the wrong guy, and I'm going to whoop the hell out of him. Most fathers I know would. So it's not a cowardly fear or leeriness. It's I might have to beat the hell out of this guy.
Exactly.
And I'd be every bit justified. So Herman's had some negative encounters, but he still has empathy. And from the moment we started talking, we just grew together in this thought pattern about people. And I believe in God, and I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. We're not going to preach the Bible to you. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. He's my Savior. And I don't always do this, but I'm not perfect. I do believe everything that Christ taught us in the Bible is what we need to do. I don't always do those things. Neither does Herman. We're not perfect. And we're not going to preach to you. We're not preachers. We are just two guys who God brought together. Well, actually, I thought he might have a lot of money. And comes to find out he's dead broke. I had to pay for his coffee this morning. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, he bought me a phone because I told him about I've lost 3 or 4 phones to thieves in the last 3 or 4 years. And my other friend of mine gave me a phone that couldn't be registered and activated. And that's all I asked him to do was put minutes on it. And when he found out he couldn't do that for whatever reason, AT&T told him no, he bought me a brand new phone. So that tells you right there what kind of man he is. So we're not going to preach. We want to inform. We want to teach. We want to show different. We want to show that other sides of the homeless people, and we want to show the humanness. We're all human, man. Listen. I don't deserve a lot of things I get from society. I don't. The worst thing I do is a little meth once in a while. Well, 4 or 5 times a week. But, as my partner can tell you, I can function very well and very intelligently when I'm on meth. And I may forget what we were talking about, and he may have to remind me, but do I not pick it back up and keep
You
going?
do pick it. It's pretty surprising, actually. Yeah, you get right back in the game. It's true.
So I strike out once in a while, but it's not that big of a deal because we're always ahead, me and this guy. That's no reason to condemn me. We want to change minds. We want to change hearts. I'm homeless, but I'm a human being. My father's name is John William Bryan. He fought in World War II. He fought in Korea. My mother's name was Frances Jean Kolakowski Bryan. She was a secretary for J.C. Penney's in the 40s. When she married my dad, she worked until 2 years later when she got pregnant with my older sister, Michelle, my older sister. There's 5 of us. Michelle was born in 49. She's passed away. Mark was born in 52. Mary was born in 56. I was born in 61. And my youngest brother, my little brother Mike, was born in 62. We had a good life as children. Great parents. My dad earned about $2,300 a month working for Standard Oil in Whiting, Indiana. And we lived in Gary, Indiana. With that income, Herman, my father, John William Bryan, purchased 2 homes. And every other year he bought a new car. Not a used pre-owned, a new car. Now, much like Al Bundy, he had a thing for a certain type of car. It wasn't a Dodge. Mr. Bundy loves Dodges, remember? But my dad loved Plymouths, and he wouldn't buy anything but a Plymouth. And him and my brother, Mike, we loved the Chicago Cubs. And his mom Blanche Rempus, my grandmother, who passed away in 72, she loved the White Sox. So at Thanksgiving time, after terrible years by both teams, we'd sit there and scream at each other, me, my grandmother, and my dad, about who was worse, the White Sox or the Cubs. And my mother just loved it because she did not like her mother-in-law at all. Did you get along with your mother-in-law?
Yeah.
Really? Is it a good relationship?
Yeah.
Would you tell the truth?
This going on the internet?
Yes.
No, we do.
You do?
Yeah, we do.
Most people do. But my mother hated my mother-in-law, my dad's mom. And at Thanksgiving time, it damn near came to blows. My grandmother, my dad's mom, was this way. Francis, did you cook those beans long enough? They don't taste... Well, they're not tender. Did you take... And my mother would say, Blanche, Blanche. And she'd just shut up.
Right.
Because she didn't want to hurt my father's feelings or argue with my father. But my father understood. In fact, one day out in the garage, I was about 13 or 14 years old, and my dad had his workbench and tools out there. We had the attached garage where he had his tools, and nobody parked there, and a carport, and the garage that he parked in. My mom didn't drive. She had trouble seeing after she gave birth to me. I made my mother go blind. No, not really. But back in the 60s, they used ether in these big masks that cover your whole face.
Yeah.
And so something dropped in her eye, and she started having trouble seeing. So anyway, she didn't drive, so my dad was the only driver until I started driving. Ooh, I love the Plymouth too. But anyway, we had a good life, and I'm proud to tell you that my father's name is John William Bryan, and my mother's name is Frances Jean Bryan, of Gary, Indiana, and they're both gone to heaven now. And this is what we're going to show you. And if you take time to get to know me, Herman, can you really feel bad about me? I mean, if you take a minute, if you take 20 minutes and talk to me, and still I can't convince you to give me money, but you have decided that I'm articulate, I'm intelligent. Yeah, I smell like doo-doo because I've just farted, because I'm old. I'm 61 on the 19th. So I'm older, and I have these, anyway, I shouldn't have even said that because I don't want to turn anyone off. But I want to turn you on. But we want to show you the other sides that you may not see. Now, have you come... How do you feel about me, Herman? I mean, tell the people how you feel about me.
Yeah, I mean, once, like you said, once I started to talk to you and get to know you, I mean, and that's really the thing. It's very easy to have opinions about people on the street as you walk past and you see them, and you've had negative experiences like we talked about before. I had some negative experiences, and that's on your mind, and, you don't, it takes time to trust people. But basically, if you start looking at human beings as human beings and just take some time to talk to people and get to know them, get to know that they have a name, they have a family, they have a life, they have a situation, and there's reasons why they're in the situation they're in. There's a lot of different reasons why. We can actually start dealing with each other as human beings and getting to know each other, and then build trust over time. And I think if more people just did that, we could figure out the solutions to the problems. I think the solutions are already there. We can't see them because we're so blinded by
Misinformation.
Exactly.
Stereotypes.
Right. Yep.
There are people, as we all know this, there are people who have agendas that they want their way. Save Austin Now is a political action committee. They are registered as that. They have a political agenda. I don't think they would try to harm us physically, but they certainly want us out the way. They don't want to see us anymore. And if they feel that way about me because I don't have a job and because I panhandle and I may smoke a little dope once in a while, or I fall asleep on a bench, If they'll get rid of me, who else would they get rid of? Who else would they want to push aside and marginalize and criminalize? They had these ordinances brought back, and these ordinances do nothing but criminalize you. I have over 180 Class C misdemeanor convictions
Yeah.
that started as tickets. You go into the community court here in Austin, downtown Austin, you plead guilty, and you accept either to pay the $200 fine or to do community service, and you're given a couple of months to do the community service. Now, most of us just let it slide, and then when they catch up with us, usually what happens is we're out panhandling or we're out being loud, and and the cops pull us over, and they run our name, and we have a community court warrant. If it's after 5, they could take you to jail. Most of the time, they take you to the Travis County Jail and keep you overnight, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, the next morning, they drive you down to the community court. They take off the handcuffs, and you see the prosecutor and the judge, and you're released. But if you do not do that community service, and you do not pay that fine, you will have to sit out your fine in jail. So if you get a $500 fine, every day you do in jail is $100. You get credited. So that 5 days. And because of good time, Travis County gives you good time to jail inmates. You have to do 2.5 days. I went to jail for 6 days for some warrants and tickets, Class C tickets, and I had to do 3 days. And they kept me in post 1 and post 2 in the Travis County Jail are where you go after you finish intake, and but before you are assigned and classified to a cell block. And so that's where you wait for that and your arraignment. This happens all the time. On a cold night, on a wet night, on a rainy night, I don't mind too much. On a night when I'm going to get... I'm really pissed off. On the night when I got some money in my pocket, I'm really pissed off. So it's just not fair, man. Even the sheriff of Travis County at the time, I can't remember his name, he asked the city council to stop the ordinances and stop playing games with his jail. He got tired of jail spaces, cells being taken up for 24 hours with homeless people
So ridiculous.
who ask for money. I ask you for $1, the police hear it, I get a ticket, I don't go to take care of the ticket, or I promise to take care of it, and I don't, I end up in jail.
They're letting violent murderers out of California right now. Like letting them out into the street.
Robbers, rapists, drug cartel people.
Yeah.
Yep. Herman, you're right. So what we are going to do is we're going to give you information that you may have heard or you may not believe or you may haven't heard. We're going to give you lots of information about homelessness and about the homeless people. We're going to show you the human side of them, right? And we'll have interviews on our website for you to watch and you comment on. We want your feedback. There is a spot where you can contact us, right?
Yep. Contact form.
And we want to hear from you, and we want your opinions, and we want to know what you think. And from there, we can move mountains. The homeless people don't deserve this negative, punitive, marginalizing, criminalizing response to their situation. They deserve a little hand up. As with every social problem, it's going to take a while. In 1973, the Supreme Court ruled that abortion is legal. And since that day, in June of 1973, it's been a pretentious and dividing issue that we argue about every day, we debate every day. in state capitals across this country and in everywhere, in churches, in dining rooms, at our homes. We talk about it. Homelessness is one of those strange issues that nobody wants to bother with. Just make it go away. I don't want to see it. Nobody wants to take the time to even think about it. So I'm asking you, we are asking you, Social Imperatives is an important website, and we want to do good things, not just for the homeless. We're starting with the homeless. Because honestly, I can't wait to fourth place. I got to win this. If I could stay homeless for the rest of my life, honestly, that I could be homeless for the rest of my life. Look, it's not that bad sleeping on that bench when you have this much padding or this much padding and you're covered up and the police ain't bothering you and nobody's trying to hurt you. I get a good night's sleep. So physically, it's not that bad, Herman. What hurts is now, because I'm homeless, and only because I'm homeless, I'm the devil. I'm Ted Bundy. I'm every sexual deviant murderer that America's ever known. I am, and I'm not. I'm not. And neither are the people out here. There's people that are mentally ill, and there's a small number of people who might jump on your car and pound on it. There's a small number of people you might have to whoop, as Herman almost found out. But, come on, man, this is America. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. This is the country whose men stood with their rifles, locked and loaded in our boats, listening to the bullets and the waves hit their boat, knowing that they were probably going to die, but they went anyway. Come on. We can't fix this. We can't treat each other better. I don't hate anyone. Well, no, I don't hate anyone. There's some people I don't like, but I don't hate anyone. And we can treat people better.
Yeah.
You think? I mean,
Definitely.
come on.
Definitely.
So join us, me, myself, Martin, and my partner, co-creator, Herman.
Yep.
We hope you join us and participate. And you participate initially by letting us know what you think. If you see this video, let us know what you think. There'll be more content in the coming days and weeks. We're working hard on that. But you have to understand, I'm homeless. I have a lot of things to do. And so much to do in so little time. And Herman is a father of two beautiful children and a husband. Him and his wife. Your wife's a school teacher?
Mm-hmm.
So they're busy. But we are getting a lot done.
Yeah.
We are. I mean,
sure.
I've got 2 notebooks full of notes. He's got stacks of notes organized and whatnot. We're going to give you a lot of information, and we want you to think about it. And please, you don't have to agree with us. That's fine, but please consider it. Consider it carefully. It's socialimperatives.com, and get in touch and let us know what you think.